Hello, it's me again, Tutor Annalou, and I'm going to share to you the updated demo guide. This is an update as of November 25 of 2021. In that way, you will be able to know what are the updates about the demo. Okay, when we talk about the update today, I will be sharing to you guys what will happen during the demo, some tips, and the third one is also how you're going to be evaluated during the said event. By the way, if you are new here in my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell. If you really want to pass the demo, watch this video until the end. What is a mock demo? A mock demo is one of the Engoo application process or steps. This happens after you pass the language test. Okay, so the language test is the initial assessment. By the time you receive a confirmation, you may now schedule your training and demo. So it is going to be you who will schedule it. And that means it will provide you enough time to prepare, time to really think about continuing with your application. And here's the thing, mock demo will be conducted by one of Engoo's staff. So it's a one-on-one evaluation. So you don't have to worry or you don't have to be scared because you got this, okay? You got this. For the time that you're going to spend for mock demo, you could just allot 30 to 45 minutes, and the length or the duration of time you will be spending for this depends on how prepared you are. And that's why I'm sharing these tips to you, so you could be prepared ahead of time. Well, the mock demo will be conducted in the Bellbird. Bellbird is a platform that you could have a video call. Now, I'm going to share to you the steps or what is going to happen during the demo day. First thing, there will be an attendance check. So they will be checking your attendance whether you are present, and if you are not, so I would suggest that you would come 10 minutes ahead of time so you can explore the platform and you can set up everything, especially with the internet connection. Second thing is there will be a Q&A. In this Q&A, it's not you who's going to be asked, but it's you will have the privilege to ask questions to the staff from Engoo. So this will be your chance to clarify things. For example, how much time should I conduct a demo? What should I do if I have this kind of situation? Or for example, what if my student can't hear me during the class? What should I do? Or what if my student is not talking? What should I do? So this is a case-to-case basis. And I think listing ahead of time questions that you have in mind would really help, because I do believe that the friendly staffs of Engoo will really guide you and help you through the process. Now, the next one is, of course, the demo class. So the demo class, okay, this is the update. Before, you will be having 2 demo classes consist of 15 minutes and another 15 minutes for the free conversation. But now, you will just be conducting one demo class, which is with the duration of 15 minutes. During that span of time, you will do demo lesson class. There will be a transition of free talk. Okay, so you just have to conduct only one demo class. So that's very short, guys. But that 15 minutes would determine whether you will be qualified to be an Engoo tutor. So make the most of that 15 minutes. Alright, after the demo class, there will be a post-training, contract signing, and registration. So after you perform your demo class, they will tell you whether you passed or you failed. They will tell you why you failed, if ever. I hope you won't. It's not my desire, okay? So, but they're going to tell you through an evaluation and how you can improve as well. And I think Ingu also gives chances. So, I was one of them who were given another chance during my demo because I was so scared. It was my first time to have a mock demo. And thank you, Ingu, for that. I owe you a lot.
An update. Before, a student request will be sent to you before the actual demo. A student request includes the type of lesson material, whether they like to have an introduction, or whether they want to be corrected or not. Now, you have to ask them accordingly during the class. Now, I'm going to share to you the basic lesson flow and demo lesson tips. Here's the basic lesson flow. Number one, greetings. Second, AV check. Third, introduction. Fourth, consultation. Fifth, direct practice and guided instruction. And sixth, ending the class. For the first step, the greetings. Well, call a student on time and smile. Greet your student naturally. You can say like this. Hello, my name is Annalou and I will be your online tutor today. How do you want me to call you? Please call me Ayako. Nice to meet you, Ayako-san. Don't forget to address your Japanese students with san at the end. Now let's have the AV checked. Guys, remember to keep your webcam on all throughout the class. So you can say like this. Before we begin our lesson, I would like to check a few things. Can you hear me clearly? Yes, teacher. How about my video? Can you see me clearly? Yes, teacher, no problem. Some students would love to have their webcam to be off. You may or may not ask this question. So you can say, oh, I noticed that your webcam is not on. Would you like to share your video with me today? If they would say no, you can say, no problem. Maybe next time. Let's continue with our class. During an actual class, a student request will be seen on the lesson page, but during the demo, you cannot see any student's request and it won't be sent to you anymore. This is the update. Okay, so there's a sample student's request. You can see what lesson style they want, whether they want to have self-introduction, they want to be corrected, or whether they have any special requests. But during the demo, since no student request shall be given, what you need to do is to always coordinate with your student on how they wish to proceed with the class. What kind of class do they want to have, what topic they wish to discuss, etc. All right? You may now ask your student whether he or she wants to have an introduction. You can ask this question. Since this is our first class together, would you like to have an introduction? If it's a yes, you can say you first or me first. And if your student would say you first, teacher, so you can start introducing yourself. Again, my name is Annalou. I'm from Bohol, Philippines. I am working as an online teacher, and during my free time, I like to sketch, I love to read books, I love to dance Zumba. How about you, Ayako-san? Can you share something about yourself? While your student is having his or her introduction, listen attentively so you can ask follow up questions later on to show how interested you are about your student. Like, what got you interested in Taekwondo? Or who or what is your favorite food? What kinds of dogs do you like? Something like that. And after that, you can say, thank you for your introduction, Ayako-san. After the introduction, you may now ask your student if he or she is ready for the lesson. Then consult your student which lesson type does he or she prefers. You may ask this question: are you ready for today's lesson? Would you like to use a material or free conversation? If your student would say, I want to use a material, teacher, you can ask another question by saying, which material would you like to use? If ever your student would say, I want to have a free conversation, you may ask the question, do you have any topic that you want to talk about?
Let me discuss to you what are the different parts of daily news material. So from the name itself, daily news, it consists of an article related to what's going on around the globe. Okay, the first exercise of daily news material is vocabulary exercise. So here you can see words and expressions, then meaning and examples. So at this part of the demo, you can ask your student to whether they would like to repeat after you or read by themselves. So students have different types of levels. They have different capacities. They require differently from you as well. So it would be really polite if you would set them or set their minds by asking the right questions. So if ever your student would say, I'd like to repeat after you, teacher. So if that is the case, so you have to read the word, then the meaning, and then one example. Or you can also ask whether they want you to read all the examples or just one example. And then now let's go to the second part. It is the article. Okay, the second part of the daily news material is the article. Here there will be a passage of the article, and most of the time, or the general instruction of this is to read each paragraph. But still, you could ask your student whether they want to repeat after you or read them by themselves. So the same thing you can do. So during that period, you have to make sure to listen carefully to your student as they read. You can correct their pronunciation properly and politely as well, and kindly as well. And then for some students, they'll have a lot of follow-up questions about some words, about sentence structure, so you have to be ready about that as well. Then the next part, for some articles, it depends on the levels. So if it's like level 6 or advanced, the third exercise could either be a question or discussion questions. So that would be flexible according to the level of the article. So that's the basic parts of a daily news material.
Now, here are some guides in having a free conversation. First, you have to choose a topic that your student is interested in based on their introduction and discussion. So you have to listen carefully during their introduction. Next, ask follow-up questions. So you have to avoid yes or no questions because for sure it would lead to dead air, which is something you have to avoid. Avoid dead air or awkward silence. Then make sure the student talk more by following 70 or 30 rule. Listen attentively, and then respond appropriately. I think numbers 5 and 6 are connected to each other. While you are conducting your lesson, either daily news or free conversation, make sure to use the chat box effectively. Type down the words or sentences that students ask you about and type corrections as well. Feel free to send links to pictures or supplementary materials. If you use the chat box effectively, it will be easier for the student to understand the class. Next, correct your students' mistakes. Well, make sure not to overcorrect or to correct students by using inadequate, harsh phrasing. Use a positive tone of voice and positive phrasing and let them know it's fine to make mistakes. If the student is comfortable with you, they will not be shy to talk, even if that means they will make mistakes. So make sure to maintain a friendly attitude throughout the lesson. During the demo, you'll be conducting it for 15 minutes, so you have to be mindful of the time when to end the class. So remember, in ending the class, you have to end it naturally, and ending the lesson contains three different parts: wrapping up, giving a feedback, and saying goodbye. You can transition this way. Oh, it seems like we only have a minute left for our lesson today. Do you have any questions before we end our class? If ever your student would say, "No, teacher, I don't have any question," you may now start wrapping up the lesson. So you can say, "For today's lesson, we discussed or talked about any topic and learned important points. You were able to learn how to correctly pronounce the words and state the words that your student had learned." And then you can start giving advice or specific feedback. You did a great job in. You can talk about your student strengths. Please work on these is the areas of improvements, and to do that, you can add some tips on how they will do it or how your student will do it, and then you can say goodbye. You can say, "I want to thank you again, Ayako-san, for booking my class. It was a pleasure having a lesson with you. I hope to see you again. Take care. Goodbye." Just remember, begin your class with a bang and end it with a bang.